Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this amendment along with my colleagues, Mr. Larson and Mr. Evans. I will not belabor this amendment because we have just a very large amount of facts and statistics that we all know to be true and well documented about the incredible impact of the enhanced child tax credit. First, the child tax credit amendment that I put forward here has already been shown to cut child poverty in half in just 1 year. Making it permanent would have a transformative impact on child poverty for generations to come across our country. And you all should have seen and heard the stories, seen the data and heard the stories that I've seen. We don't get anywhere near the same return on these investments that we can make when we have giveaways to the wealthy and the well-connected. But when we make investments in our children through the expanded child tax credit, the return that we get is incredible. There's also a cost to doing nothing. Child poverty costs our country $1 trillion per year in lost productivity, health disparities, and crime. Second, your bill, the Republican bill, is completely silent on the child tax credit. Let me repeat, the amendment that I'm putting forward here ensures that at least 4 million children would no longer be living in poverty in the wealthiest country in the world. But instead, we are here discussing tax breaks for corporations that don't need it. And to my colleague from Georgia, who brought up an issue earlier, one of the biggest things that this legislation also does, it gets to the folks who need it the most. This is a refundable tax credit. It gets to people who don't have tax liability, may not make enough to even have a tax liability. We help folks who are struggling the most, and that's why this particular policy has such an incredible impact, unlike the policy that we are considering, the base policy we're considering here today, that does not reach the folks who need it the most, does not help them afford their expenses. The child tax credit has helped people with housing, with food, to buy diapers, to pay for childcare, school supplies. The impact is incredible. So unfortunately, we don't see this in the base text, but we have this opportunity here to add this amendment and make a transformative change to this legislation that truly would help families across the country. So I urge my colleagues to support this amendment, and I yield back.